Of the Fantasy Football Show. I'm Smitty. I'm joined by Dr. Raj, who normally joins us on Saturday nights, but we're going to roll with this on Sunday because I had some things going on last night. So apologies for not having the usual Saturday night show with Dr. Raj, but he's on today, Sunday, and it's Mock Draft Sunday. So we're going to do a mock draft with all of you. Dr. Raj, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? Happy Sunday. Not a fun day because we're still on lockdown, but how's it going?
It's good, man. It's good. So real quickly before we mock, everybody that wants in on this mock, get ready. I'm going to drop the link in the chat very soon. So be ready. Be logged in. Be ready. But real quickly, we talked a little bit about this last time you were on, a little over a week and a day ago, that the 49ers were probably heading to Arizona to do some training, and that that was going to be the location for your 49ers during this quarantine period as they get ready for the 2020 NFL season. Can you confirm anything, deny anything? What's going on with that?
So, yeah, I'm going to kiss my bicep there with my fake tattoo sleeve. Anyways, it's just having fun. Yeah, so from what I understand, the NFL is trying to roll out these the league. They want to get training set. They're telling people that they can open facilities at a certain time, and but what the thing they're doing in California, we're still in lockdown. So basically, they're saying that we're not allowed to really open facilities. So if they start, let's just give a date. I don't know. I'm throwing this out. Let's say June 1st is the day, right? June 1st is the day. I'm just throwing a hypothetical out there. If California is still on lockdown, then we're not going to be able to open our facilities in Santa Clara and Levi Stadium. So they would have to go to another place, most likely Arizona. So we might be training in Arizona.
I hope you come down here and we can do some lives together because that'd be some fun
Smitty
stuff.
And Raj live.
Yeah,
pretty epic. That'd be pretty
epic.
Yeah,
reporting on both teams here in Arizona. That'd be fun. Where would they train? Like, where would they go? Do you know what? Like,
I don't know wherever you guys train is where we'd go.
Okay, so you'd split it with the Cardinals? Like, you guys would have to divide up the
You'd have to divvy up the time of the play. Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that'll be crazy. I hope that happens. I just noticed I spilled something on my shirt here. So I've got the stain right here. But we're gonna pretend that never happened. All right, I'm gonna show you guys the mock draft screen. Share screen here. Now you can't see the stain on my shirt. Oh yeah, you can. Whatever.
Stain on the shirt, baby.
Whatever. Okay, so I'm at the 10 spot. Dr. Raj is at the 12. This is a mock draft. This is not a league. We were toying around with the idea of making the league, but maybe next time we'll do that. So it's a mock draft. We're going to go like, I don't know, how many rounds? Like 6 or 7 rounds? 7 rounds.
7 rounds.
30 seconds per pick. Pretend like you're drafting, 14 rounds, whatever. So if you don't take a quarterback in the first 7 rounds, then you don't need to. Don't feel like you have to force it to make it look.
Don't be pressured.
We'll be objective when we evaluate your team. All right, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. We have 33 people in the room. 10 thumbs up only. Hit the thumbs up, please.
There's 33 people. There should be 33 thumbs up. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Here is the link. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see how fast you guys are. Usually it fills up within literally like 17 seconds. So we have about a 6 to 10 second delay. So I imagine the link is getting hit now. So we'll see everybody popping in and grabbing these spots. Again, I'm at the 10. Lately have been drafting the 1, 3, 2, 5, 4. So I'm going to the back half of the first round. Dr. Raj took the 12. You've been at the 12 a couple times. Do you like that spot? Is that where you're going there?
I do. I like the back end. I hate drafting first. There's too much pressure. I like to let things come to me and then snipe all my picks. That's what I've always loved to do, and that's why I like taking out at the end of this draft.
All right. Let's see. So that link, I don't know if I got to refresh my page here because I'm not seeing. It's probably all full. There we go. It was frozen for a second, but no, it's full. You guys are crazy, man. Look at that. It fills up like that. Like that.
Crazy.
I had to refresh my screen, and they were all there. So Jordan at the 1, Lucas at the 2, Dippy at the 3, JP at the 4, Kings fan at the 5, Ottoman Empire at 6, Watkins at 7, Trent at 8, Scotland at 9, myself at 10, Dylan at 11, and Dr. Raj at 12. We're ready to roll.
Oh, baby. We're ready to roll. All right, do this.
Let's rumble.
It's a gloomy day out there.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Draft begins now. And so we'll try and give you our little commentary as we go. Begin draft. Yes, let's begin the draft. Jordan, you're on the clock. You have 30 seconds. 30 is a little quick, but I think it makes it a little bit more doable. Let me see if I can zoom in. Christian McCaffrey to the 1. Lucas at the 2 spot. I'm sure he's going Barkley. Is there ever a scenario where you don't go Barkley or McCaffrey at 1 and 2, Dr. Raj, in a 1 QB league? I can't ever.
No, I can't think of one, man. I honestly can't.
Sometimes people go Mike Thomas at 2, and I just don't understand it. Like, McCaffrey and Barkley are such a big advantage. I like Mike Thomas, but I feel like Mike Thomas, you could argue, is at least right there, or you could argue that Hopkins and those guys could be right there with him. So I feel like it's just such a different. Elliott is the only running back that I think can compare or compete with McCaffrey and Barkley. I think even like Cook, even Henry, even Kamara, those are all like guys in another tier down below. So I think Elliott could be argued.
Those two guys they're just too good, man. Not to Saquon and McCaffrey, they're going to get so many points. You build your team around those two guys. It just would be, to me, it'd be crazy not to draft them atop the league. You know what I mean?
Mike Thomas went 4. Elliott went 3. Again, a guy I think can compete at least with those top 2 guys, but the only guy that can compete with them.
Elliott's good. I like
Mike Thomas.
I like the pick. He's great. PPR monster. He's just a great. Probably should be the top receiver taken off the board. I don't see any slowdown for him. They added Emmanuel Sanders. They got a great offense. Kamara's only going to get better. So then you got Kamara. I think he'll have a big bounce back season this year.
Yeah.
Saints offense is high powered.
So I'm gonna have a super chat by PL. Thank you, PL. Always appreciated. Never expected, but man, you guys help the show grow, and I appreciate you. And I'm on the clock. Oh, hold on. Let me thank you in a second, PL. Hopkins, Adams, Godwin, Nick Chubb, Evans, Juju. Who am I going here? I think I'm gonna try going with Hopkins because typically I go running back. I want to try going wide receiver with my first pick. Dylan is up, and then Dr. Raj, you are up after that. So Derrick Henry went before that, Joe Mixon before that, Tyreek Hill before that, Dalvin Cook, then Kamara. But to your point, what you were just saying about Alvin Kamara, Alvin Kamara was 10th in the league in yards after catch, and he was hampered all year. He missed time. I think that when you look at it, I don't know if you saw my Instagram post, Dr. Raj. I tagged you. I'll let you make your pick first.
Oh, is it my pick?
Oh, yeah. You want me to pause it? Pause draft.
No, we're good. I didn't realize it was my pick. I was listening.
Who do you want? And I will put them in for you.
Hold up. Let me see.
Dr. Raj gets special treatment.
Man. Who'd you take?
I took Hopkins at 10, and then Devontae Adams went at 11.
Oh, man, yeah, I wanted Hopkins. Let's see. I'm gonna go way out of the norm here. People are gonna think I'm crazy. This is gonna be a crazy draft right here, Smitty. You're going to love this. Let's see.
Is he going Godwin? Is he going Chubb? Is he going Evans? Is he going Eckler or Drake? Is he going...
Okay.
Jacobs?
I already got the... Okay, you ready? You can
start
it.
Well, it might... Let me put it in for you, this pick, because it might... you might be at like 1 second.
All right, give me Kenyon Drake.
Okay, took my guy.
I know, I had to take him. And then, you ready for my next pick?
I'll let you put your next pick in. I just need to plug this one in because we had to pause it.
This is about to be. This is crazy. I'm going way off the grain here, and you're gonna love it.
All right, Drake. Let me begin the draft again. Resume draft. Go. You have 30 seconds.
Boom.
Nice. That's a Smitty built team right there. I like it.
That's it.
I like it. And right here, I could go Godwin. I thought about going wide receiver, seeing if I could build a good no running back through first 2 round strategy. But I think bottom line is I'm a best player available guy. And right here, I feel like Eckler is just the guy to go with. So I got Hopkins, I got Eckler. I like I would have liked Mahomes or Drake here, so you really did take 2 of the guys that I like. And I take Mahomes obviously early than most people do. But back to my point about Kamara. Kamara was 10th in yards after catch, missed a bunch of time, was hampered much of the year. And when you look at those yards per catch, and I'm not sure if you saw my Instagram post or if you even responded to that, but I posted a yards after catch post where it shows all the top 10 receivers, running backs, all the pass catchers, combined tight ends too. And number 1 was with 1019, I believe it was Christian McCaffrey. 1,019 yards after catch. That's crazy. Wow. Number 2 with, I think it was 940, was Austin Eckler. The next highest, closest person was 6.
I saw that post last night.
It was Kittle.
Kittle
was number 3.
Antonio Brown was, or AJ Brown was on it doing the little.
Yeah.
I saw that post.
Yeah. So Kittle was number 3 in the league in yards after catch, which is a phenomenal stat. It's awesome.
Oh, I know.
And he missed time.
Yeah, he led the league, like all positions over the last 3 years in yards after. Like he's a yak monster. He's the yak king. He had more yak than Travis Kelce. Like it's crazy. There's a lot.
The crazy part, though, I mean, circling back away from Kittle, but it's awesome. He was number 3. It was literally 1019, 940, and then Kittle at 602. Like Eckler at 940 and then Kittle at 602. So Eckler and McCaffrey are in a whole nother tier in terms of yards after catch than everybody else in the entire league. I think Barkley will be there as well. So I think people need to realize that Barkley missed out on that because he had kind of a rough year. He was hurt. But Barkley, McCaffrey, Eckler, and then Kamara, I think, are the 4 running backs that are going to be really closely grouped together in that yards after catch stat category and be above everybody else in the league. Maybe Kittle does get in there with, without missing time and stuff. So, but my point is Kamara is in that group. Kamara will be with those guys, and I think Barkley could be. I don't know if this is bold, but I'm going to say Barkley's going to have over 2,000 yards in 2020. I think Barkley has over 15 total touchdowns, and I think Barkley's by far the number 1 overall player in fantasy football in 2020. I just think Barkley's going to just tear it up.
Yeah, I do too, because this is the thing. It's funny because people say, I don't know why people doubt Barkley. They say CMC's better and he's going to have a better season. I don't disrespect McCaffrey. I think he's a great player. He's definitely one of the top players in the league. And PRP leagues, you make the case he's the best. But before last year, Barkley, before he got the injury and stuff, I mean, he was just killing. I mean, you couldn't stop the man. The guy was just doing so many things. You couldn't touch him. He was having 300-yard games, combined games. He was catching out of the backfield. He was running all over the place. He was getting a lot of touchdowns. He was their offense, and it's healthy again. So you expect him to be that offense again, and he's going to help take the load off of Daniel Jones. He's going to help shoulder the burden, in New York. And I think this season he's going to go explode. He hadn't even hit his prime yet 2 years ago.
Yeah.
This guy's slowly reaching his prime, and it's going to be scary hours for the rest of the league. Watch out for Saquon Barkley.
I'm up, Dr. Raj. I don't know what to do here.
I don't know what you should do either. Good luck.
Is it too early to go DK here? I'm running out of time.
I don't know.
I'm just going to do it because I don't want to be stuck with someone I don't like. So DK is normally my go-to secret. Like AJ Brown's gone because this is a mock draft with my group of people. They're going to snipe me at every turn. They're going to take a lot of these guys really early. AJ Brown typically falls into the 4th round, but no, not in the fantasy football show mock drafts. But DK is like my safety net 4th round player where if I don't like any of the players, I feel like you can reach for DK at the top of the 4th and be okay. I had to go DK here because all of my other players were sniped. You're up, Dr. Raj, by the way.
I know. I'm looking.
I'll pause it for you.
No, we're good. Hold up.
Well, you had 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You tell me who you want, and I'll plug it in. Dr. Raj gets special treatment. He didn't go to all those years of school for nothing. He gets something. He gets special treatment on the show.
You got to give me something here.
So DK was a little early for me, I do admit, but looking at the players available, I didn't feel comfortable.
No, I was looking at DK actually myself, and he got swiped up. I'm going to go with Calvin Ridley.
Okay. So we'll put Calvin Ridley in. Okay, and then I'm going to unpause it, and you'll have 30 seconds to make your next pick. Go ahead. You're up.
Sounds good. All right, let's see.
Now, I think I remember, while he looks, we won't distract him too much, but I think I remember the last mock draft we did. Calvin Ridley was my number one receiver, and you said, I don't know if this is the best draft.
I'm saying this to myself going, oh, Jesus, I can't believe. Because I said, yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right.
You mean to pause it?
No.
Okay.
Sutton.
Okay.
2 wide receivers. Yeah, I know. I said the same thing last time. But, you got smart people in your league, and they know what they're doing. So it's like,
I would have went Kyler here.
Yeah, but I already had Mahomes. If I wouldn't have drafted Mahomes, I would have went Kyler.
I mean, I would have. He just went.
Yeah.
I got timed out.
No, you got to pause it for Cooper Kupp.
I know.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper, baby. Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
I'm not a Cooper Kupp person.
Me neither, actually.
I was trying to find Chark. 30 seconds is tough when you're running a show. It's always my fault, and I always get mad at myself after, and I go, I'm never doing 30 seconds again, because trying to coordinate, talking with you, updating people, and then getting prepared.
When you're talking, then you're like, I'm on the clock. I'm like, oh crap! Then I look down and I'm like, oh gee. No, I like Shark. I was looking at him, and I was looking at Sutton. I kind of did a coin flip on that, basically in my mind. I think Shark can be good. I think Sutton's going to take another step. If Drew Lock improves,
damn it,
Sutton's going to be better. But at the same time, Sutton is still going to have a good season because he was, he was their top receiver, and now with Jerry Jeudy there, I think Cortland Sutton benefits from.
Well, everyone knows I would not take Cooper Kupp. I get a lot of hate on that, so maybe everybody loves my mock draft right now. But I have no running back. I have no running back 2 at this point. This is why we mock draft. This is why we mock draft. And maybe I shouldn't do the 30-second while I'm trying to run a show. But
30 seconds tough, man. We gotta go at least a minute.
It is tough, but it helps us do more than one mock. Like right now, we're almost done. So we could literally roll another mock, and I feel like that's more beneficial to everybody than to do one longer mock because. I watch a lot of these other, I don't have time to watch a full show of anybody's other, I just have to create content. I don't have time to watch other people's shows. But I do glance at them. I do get mentioned in them. And I find my way, reviewing somebody's, mock draft show. And it's like everybody does these long, old mock drafts to round 15 with like a minute, 2-minute timers. And there's some of the most boring things. I like to have my mock draft videos, quick and
you got to keep it short and stuff because you know what? That's all I tell you, man. People's attention spans are very small, and after a few minutes, they're gonna lose interest and they're gonna go to something else. They're like, all right, I'm done with this. So that to me is just makes no sense to be doing all that.
Yeah, so that's why I'm quick with it. I do short, 7-8 round mocks. I don't go round 15. No one cares about that on a replay, and I've got to worry. I've got to worry. What?
Yeah, I know you got things you got to post content stuff, but I'm sorry. I was looking at these teams. I see JP 911. This team, look at this: Mike Thomas, Mike Evans, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel. That's a pretty good receiving group.
Where are your running backs?
That's what I was saying. His running backs are low, but man, PPR league, this guy would be dominating folks. Yeah,
well, JP's he's very well versed in the sleeper U mentality. He's the one that snipes me at every turn.
Yeah.
If I could go back, looking at your team, what would you do if you could go back? Me, I probably would have taken Kyler Murray instead of DK in the 3rd round. I know it's high, but I would have been okay with that. I know people think that's really, really high, but then I would have taken Chark or I don't know. Maybe I would have taken David Montgomery instead of Kupp.
Yeah, yeah, it might have been bad. I would have probably would maybe instead of Ridley or Sutton, instead of one of those receivers, I would have probably taken like maybe a Shark or another. I would have went for a running back, maybe Monty. I don't know. The running backs to me just don't really stand out at this part. Maybe like Chris Carson, but I just feel like they don't have as much to offer. So
Hey, PL, thanks again for the super chat, my man. He said, "Let your boy get a pick." And then we do have a podcast. Cameron said you guys should have a podcast. We do have a podcast. We'll be doing more of those. So
yeah, there's no news right now, so nobody wants to hear a podcast when there's nothing to talk about.
okay,
Like a Deshaun Watson.
I'm on the clock here. Dang it.
That's right, Smitty.
You think Singletary is a good pick here for me?
I actually like the pick. I was looking at Singletary myself. That's not a bad move.
I haven't drafted him yet, so I'm gonna go Singletary and see what happens. So I've Austin Eckler and Singletary, not the most high end, I guess, running backs you could say in this draft, but I like them. I think that's good. And then Hopkins, DK, and Cooper Kupp. I don't know. I don't love my team. I'll be honest.
No.
If I'm ranking these, you're not going to hear me say A. Everybody thinks I always give myself an A. I always love my team. There's times I walk out, I'm like, I don't like my team.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that.
That's why we mock draft. I like the Waller pick. The Ingram pick I actually like a lot too, and if you pair him with JK later,
if I get JK, that's a boost.
It's one of my favorite little secret running back 2 moves. Where you get Ingram and JK as your running back 2, and you can get them really late. You can obviously get them, in 6-7 round range. I'm gonna go Russell Wilson here.
Oh, dangerous!
I feel like my team. I mean, I'm not excited about it, but I feel like I balanced it better. I balanced it well at the end, with Wilson, with Singletary. I think it's not bad. It's not my favorite team, though. So Jordan has McCaffrey, Fournette. I'm not a Fournette fan. Kelsey I like a lot. Montgomery's a good pick. Marquis Brown I love. I think that's a darn good team.
Marquis Brown. Did you hear what his teammate Willie Snead said today?
No.
Okay, this made me laugh because I think Marquis could be a good player. I think Lamar Jackson's going to be a good player, a great player. That's a good duo. But he says that Marquis Brown and Lamar Jackson have the talent, and they're good enough they're basically as good as Jerry Rice and Joe Montana.
Well, that's definitely a stretch. I will say that Hollywood Brown is probably my favorite. Like, normally he goes, again, this is my group of people. Jordan's taking him literally like 12 picks higher than you have to, maybe even 20. Marquise Brown usually falls into the 6th round for sure. People tell me they get him in the 7th and 8th all the time. So going in the 5th is him just making sure he gets him. But Marquise Brown, to me, Hollywood Brown, is going to be a top 10 wide receiver in 2020. I think everyone's going to look back and go, wow, I got this guy. Not where Jordan got him, really high. He's going to fall in around 6 to 8 range. And he's going to be the biggest steal from round 6 on that we're going to see in 2020.
Wow, top 10 receiver.
I think he's going to be a top 10. I think he is Tyreek Hill 2.0. He's a little smaller, but you know what? He's still ripped. He's completely ripped. He's a little smaller guy. He suffered with that. He had that screw taken out of his foot. He had the Liz Frank injury in college, which is obviously a concern, but he had a screw in there that was bothering him all year. Literally, there's times where they said he couldn't walk between games. And if you watch, he works out with the Footwork King.
Yeah, he does.
And the Footwork King, there's footage of Hollywood Brown just looking like just a beast, man, with his footwork. He has some of the best footwork I've.
Yeah, that Footwork King is he's a beast, man, and he gets these guys right. So he's doing all the things he needs to do. And you're right, the Liz Frank injury was the big concern coming into the draft last year, and it limited him. But I think he has the tools to succeed. And with that offense, play action, it's going to be play action, man. When they build up that run, you got Lamar running, you got Ingram running, you got Dobbins running, and then boom, over the top with Hollywood.
Yeah, I think he's going to be top 10.
Yeah, I
Top
can see
10.
it.
What am I going to do? I probably need a running back. I could use a wide receiver. I could use a tight end. I could use everything. Kind of balanced right now, so I can kind of do. See, this is what I love about the 8th round, or even the tail end of the 7th round. If you go to quarterbacks, you have Rodgers there. You have
Yeah.
Daniel Jones there.
Josh Allen just got picked. Rob Gronkowski, that's a great pick.
Drew Brees is way down there. Drew Brees is still there. I mean, these are all really good quarterbacks that you get two. You could even get them back to back. Like in your situation, 7.12 and 8.01, you could go Rodgers and Brees back to back and not focus on quarterback at all. I love the Mahomes pick, and I think that carries you. I'm just saying, if let's say Mahomes, you didn't want to take him early, or somebody grabbed him already, that's 7.12, 8.01 is a good place to do back-to-back QBs. Because what are you really missing here? Like, look at Jarvis Landry went. I know you like Mostert. You would have taken Mostert. But, like, Darius Geis, I like Keyshawn Vaughn a lot, but you're not missing out on winning your league with your 7.12 and your 8.01. So going back-to-back QBs is not a horrible.
Not horrible.
I timed out as I'm talking. Man.
Christian Kirk. Oh,
I know.
Man. Great.
Oh, whatever. All right, want to do another mock?
Oh, let me see. Let me get my last pick here.
I'll do one more mock. I'm not going to rate every team. I'm just going to go through real quickly and say, okay, Ezekiel Elliott, Aaron Jones, DJ Moore, Woods. I feel like Dippy that you have good potential pieces there, but a lot of players that have some risk or whatever. Aaron Jones, DJ Moore, there's some risk there. I know he's good, but you pair him with Woods, who's should be good, but there's risk there. Thielen, we don't know what that's a lot of risk. David Johnson, Geis, loaded with risk. Barkley, Godwin, Jonathan Taylor, McLaurin, Andrews. I like that team. I think Jordan at 1, Lucas at 2. You guys are in the top 5 or 6, but you have an advantage at that 1.01. You literally, it's hard to screw up being a top 5 team when you have the 1.01 or 1.02. Mike Thomas, Evans, George Kittle, very good start. Deebo, I like it. Then you went Carson, Connor, Mostert. Not a bad recovery, JP, with the running backs, given you didn't take one until round 5. You were going 0 running back approach. And I like to see that, even if you're drafting a little different than normal, so you're testing things out. I like Carson, Connor, and Mostert given that approach, but I still feel like it's kind of a tough running back crew to go into the season with. So I'd say you're probably like outside the top 5, but if Connor, let's say, became a stud again, or if Carson held onto the job all year, if Mostert is as good as Dr. Raj predicts, you could definitely be a top 16.
You just basically won the league, baby, because this is where I went. Look, that team is solid, man. You got Michael Thomas, stud, okay? Mike Evans. Those two guys are going to put up so many points for him every week.
Yep.
Kittle, we know what he's going to do. That guy's a premium tight end. You got Deebo Samuel, and he's going to have a big-time season. That's a great player. So I know his running back situation is a little murky. Chris Carson, I think, can be a very productive player in Seattle. They run the ball a lot, and I think he's going to get the yardage. He's going to get the touchdowns. James Conner, he could be good or not. He had a pretty solid season last year until the injuries. Health is going to be his big concern. But Raheem Mostert, man, this guy has all the tools to be a just flat-out star in this
Jared Cook, P.S.
game.
Jared Cook.
And he can go grab a quarterback.
Mark, I think it was a bad pick, Kirk, there. There's no way I would have taken Kirk there, but I appreciate your support. Okay, Kamara, Julio, Golladay, Gurley, Diggs, Kareem Hunt, Josh Allen. Not top 5, but, good potential. Cook, Clyde, Juju, DJ Chark, Dak, Gronk, Devontae Parker. I'd probably give that team, it's all going to hinge on Juju. If Juju is a bounce back candidate, you're top 5. If he's not, you kind of fall out of the mix there. Yeah,
Juju and Chark could be good.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill, Lamar, Melvin Gordon, Keenan Allen, Lamb. This is a redraft. So that is a tough. CD's a little early. CD's a little early.
The first 2 picks, Melvin Gordon, I'm a little on Keenan Allen. I like.
Landry's not even going to be ready for the year, so that's way, way too early.
Keenan Allen's a good value there. CeeDee Lamb, I don't know.
It's a redraft. It's
that's real
redraft.
early. If it was Dynasty, yeah. J.K. Dobbins, same thing.
Dynasty, he could be a 4th rounder, I think, CD. But
yeah.
Mixon, Sanders, Cooper, Swift, Tyler Lockett, Boyd, Hunter Henry. Outside the top 6, but you're right there on the fringe.
He has talent. He has players, but to me, it's just Mixon and Sanders. I don't build a team around those two guys. You know what I mean? Like, you know how I always talk about your first 2 picks. Will you build your team around them? I wouldn't build a team around Mixon and Sanders. I wouldn't. Here's
a top 5 team right here. Scotland. Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, A.J. Brown, Allen Robinson, Deshaun Watson, Zach Ertz, N'Keal Harry. That's top 4. Top 3, maybe.
Great team. I don't like the A-Rod pick.
A lot of people love A-Rod this year.
And N'Keal Harry, I hope he bounces back, but that's a solid team. Henry and Jacobs, that's a nasty 1-2 punch.
Yeah. Okay, here's my team. Hopkins, Austin Eckler, DK Metcalf, then I timed out Cooper Kupp, Devin Singletary, Russell Wilson, then I timed out while I was talking Christian Kirk. I still think it's like a B, B minus, but it's not an A plus team. I admit that. But, I like DK, Austin Eckler, and Hopkins. I think it's a really good trio. You there, Dr. Rush? I don't know if he dropped off. Oh, hold on, Dr. Rush. I can't hear you. Let me see if I can get you back. I think everybody can hear you, but let me see if I can get my audio back. You there, Dr. Rush? All right, hold on one second. Go ahead and, can you guys hear Dr. Rush? Go ahead and talk, Dr. Rush. My computer locked up. Talk, Dr. Rush. I don't have you yet. Let me hang up on you and call back, and let me see if I can get the audio going. Sorry about that, guys. I had a call come in, and it jacked up all my audio settings on my phone. So, my bad. Let's see if we can get this going again. Let me add my Skype into the equation again. Dr. Rush, hang tight if you're watching. I apologize. We should be good at this point when he calls in, so. Sorry about that, Dr. Raj. I think we got you back. So I had a call come in. Yeah, we got you. I had a call come in and it screwed up all my audio settings. I don't know. What were you saying about my team? Go ahead and keep going.
I said I like the picks that you made. Russell Wilson was good value. I do like the Metcalf. I know it was early, but I think that's great too because you paired him up with Wilson. So you got Wilson and Metcalf. It's a good pair right there. Your first 2 picks are really solid. Hopkins, Eckler, I like that. Obviously we don't like Cooper Kupp, Christian Kirk, but that wasn't your fault. It timed out. Cooper Kupp, I'm just not really high on any on the Rams, right? So
yeah, I'm not a Cooper Kupp fan.
I will say this: Cooper Kupp, if you draft him in a PPR league, he'll be a pretty good option for you because literally that's all that Jared Goff has to throw to.
Yeah.
Is Cooper Kupp, and he's going to rack up a lot of receptions.
Well, if you look at the Woods and Cooper Kupp, this is why I worry about him. If you look at Woods, actually finished really strong the last 7 or 8 games. I forget what the exact number of games it was, but Kupp dominated the first half of the season, and then Kupp fell off, and Woods dominated the second half of the season. So you could
No.
totally argue either one is going to come out with a huge year. You could argue both are going to have a good year, but at fourth round value is where I have a problem with it. I'm not a fan of them. I should rephrase that because I'm going to get all the kinds of comments and negative messages. Smitty, how could you not like Cooper Kupp? I don't like him at fourth round value. I like him later. So I've seen him go at number 15 overall in a CBS Sports Expert mock draft, which was absolutely crazy that he went in the second round.
Dude. Yeah,
So, because fourth round is too high for me. Your team, Drake, Mahomes, Ridley, Sutton, Ingram, Waller, Gallup. Now, Gallup's a tough one because, we don't know what CeeDee Lamb's going to do to him, and I was super high on Gallup heading into the year, but now I'm a little bit more. But Waller, I love that pick. Waller and Ingram, and if you got J.K. Dobbins later, which you normally would, I don't know if anybody sniped him, but you normally would easily get him with your 7.12 or your 8.01.
I probably could have taken him right there. I probably could have taken him instead of Gallup, but I just made a pick because I wanted him to drop.
I think Ridley and Sutton are kind of weak wide receivers, but they're gonna be because you stacked really heavy, early on. But like if I could go back, let's see your pick. I would say the other wide receivers you could have taken.
I mean, that's the thing.
Chark.
I think Chark, DK Metcalf, maybe. Like I feel that.
Yeah.
No, DK was taken. I was looking at DK.
I think Chark and Ridley. I think Chark and Ridley would have been probably the best picks there.
Yeah, most likely.
Okay.
I like Sutton though, man. I got a good feeling about this guy. I think he'll be good this year.
Yeah, it's hard to know though with what Judy's going to do to his value though. Last team was dealing with Adams, Chubb, Odell, Kyler, Lev Bell, Ingram, Fuller. I like that. I think it's top 6 because I like Chubb. I love Adams. I love Kyler Murray. Odell's very intriguing this year with Landry hampered probably not. And Landry's going to be out. I would guess the beginning of the year. He could come back, but
you think he's going to be out for a significant amount of time?
I mean that hip. I don't know. You tell me. What do you think? I don't know.
What exactly is his injury? Because I know I heard he was hurt, but I didn't really look into it.
Yeah, let me pull it up here and I'll read it to you.
Yeah.
Because I think that I'd like to get your take on that. Because I've been talking maybe out of school by saying that he's not coming back, but that's what I read several times. And to be honest with you, I don't. To
be honest, I wasn't really keeping up tabs on Jarvis Landry, so I didn't know he was really hurt. Honestly.
Yeah. So Browns coach Kevin Stefanski said Jarvis Landry hip is on track in his rehab. Landry's 2 months into his 6 to 8 month timetable after February's labrum surgery.
Oh yeah, labrum surgery.
Yeah, so he's been set back. Hold on, let's see. Landry is questionable for training camp, but the Browns are hoping he'll be ready for Week 1. So the new report is maybe he'll be ready for Week 1. The report before that said Jarvis Landry hip surgery is expected to be sidelined 6 to 8 months from his February 4th operation date. In other words, he's questionable not for just training camp, but for Week 1. In a statement announcing Landry's operation, the team did imply they expected him to be ready for the opener. I don't know. What do you think about that? I don't know. I don't see any details on the hip injury itself, just that he had hip surgery. But given that you don't really know.
Hip surgery is not a good thing, man. You get a hip surgery, it's going to take time. Even though he's younger, even though the thing with Jarvis Landry, he's been doing so many over the he catches high volume. They use him a lot, and he's probably worn out that hip, and he probably had some arthritic changes. And to have a labrum surgery this early in the game, that's kind of alarming to me. Actually, I think that he's going to have to be eased back in. You don't just automatically come back to better. He's going to have to work his way, get his strength under him, his speed under him, especially with the labrum, shifting, moving, turning, jumping especially, because you got to have hip flexion. When you're talking about your hip doing this motion, hip flexion, go like the motion that you need to do to walk and go up a step, that's going to be a little limited. And then laterally, the outside of your hip when you have surgery is like the biggest area where there's no stability.
Hit the thumbs up.
So that lateral stability of the hip is going to be lacking. So his balance is going to be off. He's not going to be able to do a lot of the things. As a receiver, you got to be able to stay on your feet and shift and move and be able to break tackles. I think those first few weeks might be pretty limited. He's not going to come out of the gates firing. So I do agree with what you just said with OBJ maybe taking a bigger step this year because he's got to shoulder the load. So
yeah, I really like Odell.
Yeah,
I like Odell. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I like Odell a lot in like 1 or 2 leagues. You know, like I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket at all with Odell Beckham Jr. He screwed us royally, as did Baker, disappointment maker. I believed and bought into that guy, and he totally screwed me. That's on me. And I took my lap. I rung my bell. Definitely feel like I'm not going to be tricked again by Baker. I'm going to let him show me that he's the person that I thought he could be in that offense with those weapons. It's also a reason why I back off a Locke a little bit. I feel like Locke is, and it's not just, and everyone kind of seems to think this is a funny analysis that I have on it, but it's not just that it seems very similar situation-wise, but it kind of seems similar in just their personality types. It's like Locke and him both kind of have that same. So it's like I'm getting hit by all that and going, I'm letting Locke prove it. Lockett's on a prove it year with me before or Locke. I'm sorry, Locke. I keep saying Lockett.
Yeah.
Locke is on a prove it year before I'm going to.
I agree. I have a lot of similar views. I feel that Baker and Locke are one and the same. I just don't feel like I think they're cut from the same cloth. I think that they're kind of guys that their mentality isn't one to be an elite guy in the league. But hey, I could be wrong. They could prove us wrong. Going back to Landry, I could definitely see him missing some significant time because that's an injury that's going to take time to get back to 100%. Because also there's going to be some pain, and just being able to have your full strength of your legs under you with the labrum surgery, it takes time. 6 to 8 months is generous, I think, of a time frame. I think it's more 8 to 12 months. So I think he'll be back. He's an athlete and he's a younger guy. He's going to heal, but those first few weeks coming back, he's going to be so limited. I don't think he's going to have that big of an impact.
Do you want to? You don't have to stick around for another mock, Dr. Raj. I'll do one regardless. So I don't know if you want to just talk about players and then I do a mock after, or if you want to do another mock now. It's up to you.
We could do one. When do you want to do one?
Well, I was going to do one now or do one after you jump off. So it's up to you if you want to be a part of the mock or just want to talk about players or whatever.
Well, we can do another mock next time then if you want.
Okay, yeah. So, guys, I'll do another mock after Dr. Raj and I talk a little bit of stuff. Well, maybe we'll go another 10, 15 minutes. We'll let Dr. Raj go and get whatever he's got to get done for the day. And if he wants to do the mock with us, he can. So stay tuned. We will do a mock. If you are going to leave, you're going to miss your opportunity to mock draft. We'll be doing that right after Dr. Raj jumps off. Question about Hollywood Brown and his foot. I don't know if you can look up that real quick and let me know based on what you're reading on his foot if you see anything that's alarming. But Hollywood Brown had that Liz Frank injury, and that's kind of nasty. But he's also very young, and I feel like I don't know if I'm making a statement that doesn't hold water in your opinion. But when you're younger like that, are you a lot more able to like look past that and say this guy's gonna recover quicker than the average person? Like Liz Frank injury at his age is a lot better obviously than at an older age, but does it really truly matter? Like is it something your foot ever can recover from fully?
You always have lingering effects, but I think he's young enough to be able to shake it off and have a productive amount of good seasons under his belt. Okay.
I just think he's gonna have a big year. Hollywood Brown's the most talked about guy on my content inside my content right now. I'm pumping him up pretty big.
Yeah.
We'll be mock drafting in a second. Anybody got any questions for us? We'll answer some questions for the next 10 minutes or so. If you had to rank the top, let's rank the top 5 or 10 wide receivers. So number 1, we're gonna rank Mike Thomas, I assume. And the only other person, who do you think is number 2 in fantasy football if you had to rank? Would it be Hopkins? Would it be Adams? Would it be other?
DeAndre Hopkins. You can make the case for him number 1.
Yeah, I agree. I think in Dynasty, what I have a lot of people asking me, hey Smitty, the fact that Drew Brees is getting older, the fact that they don't, they have Winston, but they don't really have like the future lined up at the quarterback position. I think a lot of people might say that. Is Hopkins a better dynasty grab, like quietly, than Mike Thomas, or do you not worry too much about that with wide receivers? Like it'll all work out. Like Thomas will find his. You know, if you were to play that game back in the Calvin Johnson days, you would have missed out on getting all of Calvin Johnson's elite numbers if you worried about, oh, who's his quarterback going to be? Like he had quarterback carousel galore.
Yeah,
you know, in Detroit. So
with receivers, if they're that good, they're going to get it. You know, like Michael Thomas, he's going to get it. And DeAndre Hopkins is a perfect example. DeAndre Hopkins had garbage people slinging him the ball before Deshaun Watson, you know, and he put it together. I also think that Larry Fitzgerald, prime example. Larry Fitzgerald has put up some disgusting numbers over his career, and he's literally had some of the biggest bums throwing him the ball. So I think it doesn't necessarily make or break a guy. But I think it definitely helps having a good quarterback in there. But the wide receiver, if they're good, man, you got to get that talent. But there is because we've talked about situation kind of breeds their success as if they're like a young receiver coming into the league and you don't know the stability of their quarterback, it's going to have an impact. But I think if you're like a special receiver and you're cut from a different cloth, you're going to get it no matter what. There's only one Larry Fitzgerald. Mike Thomas is a special guy. I mean, Calvin Johnson was a great player. DeAndre Hopkins is a special guy. Yeah. So Jerry Rice, he could have done it anywhere. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think Hopkins is a very safe wide receiver too. So in dynasty or redraft, I think it's Thomas Hopkins. Like, doesn't matter if it's dynasty or redraft. In fact, I think Adams would probably be in my number 3, and I think in dynasty or redraft, it's Adams too. So kind of a weird year.
Actually, my number 3, I go Tyreek Hill over Devontae Adams.
Okay, let's put
him. Just because Adams does have the injury risk, and Aaron Rodgers, you know, he's got some issues there in Green Bay sometimes, and I feel like Adams is great. Don't get me wrong, I like him, but I just feel like Tyreek is a little bit of a safer pick. I would throw out there. The reason I like him as a more safer pick is because he's in an offense with Patrick Mahomes. That offense, you know, they're going to go crazy. It's like watching Madden, and Tyreek Hill is their big threat. You know, he's a touchdown waiting to happen almost every drive. I'll
put him 3. You're convincing me. Okay, so Hill and Adams, I think you could interchange those. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Who's number 5? Is it Godwin? Is it Evans? Just looking at the mock draft here, it went wide receiver wise. It went Thomas, Hill, Hopkins, Adams, Julio, Evans, Godwin. You know,
that's tough.
Yeah,
you can say like for one more year, Julio, but I think over the long haul, like if we're talking dynasty, it's so tough to me to determine who's better, Evans or Godwin. Because is Godwin a product of Evans? Is Evans a product of Godwin? No, because Evans was doing his thing before Godwin. But man, you can make a case of them being like 5A, 5B kind of thing, and then the next guy would be Julio Jones for at least one more year.
I don't know if I can envision both of them having the same kind of year they had with Winston under the helm. But me? I mean, it's possible. I don't know.
You kidding me? Tom Brady's gonna have a field day with those.
Yeah, two guys. No, I know, but Winston just threw so much. But that was Arians too. So yeah, let's go.
It's the same system, man.
Let's go. Offense. Godwin, Julio, Evans.
Okay, I'll buy it.
And this is redraft.
Yeah, I'll buy it.
And then so at 8, we've already Adams, Godwin, Mike Evans, Julio. So now we have, who else did we not name yet? Evans, Julio. So you're talking about Odell, Calvin, DK, AJ Brown, Cooper, Juju, Galladay, DJ Moore, Chark, like those guys. So we're talking redraft. Is AJ Brown too high here? Because that's where I kind of have him. I have him like at 6 to 7, but I caution people to draft him later if they can. But I mean, if we're doing like a mix of trying to tell people where to take these guys And I think we might have lost Dr. Raj again. I think we lost Dr. Raj again. Let me see if I can. I might have to log out of my FaceTime app because I keep getting calls and it's locking up my system. I recommend nobody ever allow their computer to have FaceTime dialing in ever on their computer. It locks everything up. Dr. Raj, can you hear me? I don't have you, so hold on. Let me see if I can. I'm going to quit Skype again. I'll call you right back. I'm sorry, man. Let's see if we can get Dr. Raj back. Sorry, guys. Let me see if I can log out of FaceTime here. Because it keeps dialing me up. Stop calling me on FaceTime. Sign out. There we go. Okay, Dr. Raj, I'm going to dial you up now. What's up, Dr. Raj?
Can you hear me? Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, no, it's my fault. I had to log out of FaceTime whenever I get a call on FaceTime and I'm getting blasted. It locks my entire system up, so
no, that's annoying.
I apologize for that. That's all.
So what I was saying, so A.J. Brown, I agree with you. I like him. He's probably, I would take him there. Like you were saying, caution people. You don't want to take him that high, but his value is top 10 receiver. I think hasn't even scratched the surface. He's going to be a top 10 receiver easily this year. If we saw what he did at the second half of last year, you're like, oh, man. So I'm buying all types of stocks of A.J. Brown. I like him. He's a great guy. Big-time receiver, physical. He runs a good route tree. He's got all the skills. A.J. Brown at 6 or 7, did you say 7?
Yeah, I was thinking A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I like it. Number, I'd probably say a DK Metcalf. I think
DK A.J. Brown or A.J. Brown DK?
A.J. Brown DK.
Okay.
He's going to be just as good as A.J. Brown. And then I'm going to sneak this one in here. You're gonna like this one. Number 9, Deebo Samuel, man. This kid is going to be flat out special. He's versatile. Not only does he get the receiving yards, I know people say, oh, he only had 3 touchdowns. This guy was still learning the offense, and they had him do so many things, blocking, coming out of the backfield, receiving. You didn't even get to see the full picture of Deebo Samuel. And next season, he's going to be scary good. You know my predictions on this guy. Deebo Samuel is a top 10 receiver without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I think we're going to have a little beef here. This is where this is tough. I feel like you could argue. Let me pull up the wide receivers. You could argue like Odell here. You could argue a Cooper here. You could argue a Juju or a Galladay. I think Galladay needs to be drafted here, or even put Galladay at 7 and move, or I'm sorry, Galladay at 8 and move Brown and DK down, or put Galladay at 10 or whatever. But I think Galladay needs to be in that top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
But that's me.
Yeah, and I like Galladay. I think he's 10. And then I would have like Hollywood Brown, maybe OBJ, Juju. I know that's high for Deebo. Like it's super high for Deebo. Nobody's gonna rank him that high.
I respect it.
I mean, and I know I'm a Niner fan, but I'm telling you, man, it is to be scary to see the improvement from year 1 to year 2. Because this is the thing, when in Kyle Shanahan's offense, people take a huge leap in their second year most of the time when they're featured in the offense. Like George Kittle from his first year to the second year was absolutely like just insane how big of a leap. He went from 575 yards receiving to the number one receiving, 1,330 yards receiving, the number one tight end receiving yards of all time. Like, that was the leap he took. So I think Deebo Samuel can have a big Kittle-esque leap, and that's what I'm saying. I know not now. I think not now he's not top 10, but in the end, I envision him being a top 10.
I think I'm going to put, for the sake of just people drafting using these, like I don't want people to get the wrong idea of where to take these guys. I'm going to put Galladay at 8.
Okay.
At 8, and I'm going to put Brown at 9, DK at 10, and then at 11 we can make the argument for all those other guys. But I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty solid right there. So Thomas 1, Hopkins 2, Hill 3, Adams 4, Godwin 5, Julio 6. This is redraft. Evans 7, Galladay 8, AJ Brown 9, DK 10. I mean, anybody in the chat have a problem with that? Speak up. But I think you'd be hard pressed to say, "Hey, that's awful. I can't believe you don't have Amari Cooper in the top." Look, Cooper could be argued at 10.
I forgot
9,
about
8,
Cooper. Yeah,
12. Like,
he's in there. You got OBJ, Juju, Terry McLaurin. There's so many good receivers in this league, man.
I mean, you honestly can't have DK that much below Cooper. You could easily argue them. So if you like Cooper there, throwing Cortland Sutton up there, says villain. I mean, you could argue it, but I would not.
Yeah, I would add. So
Elgin,
there's like a whole. There's so many good receivers in their second year.
Elgin says he's losing faith. Losing faith in what, Elgin? I don't know what you mean. If you mean in Cooper Cup. Dr. Raj is a homer, says JP. Well, you know what, JP?
Yeah.
Dr. Raj admits it, and
I know I'm a homer.
He owns it, but he still, I'm. You could call me a Cardinal homer in some ways, although I will always tell you that I'm very objective. But
I'm a homer, but this is the thing. My takes are always 90% of the time they're right. Like, I'm such a homer. But my homer takes are usually so right because I always call them like last season. I say a couple years I was like, Kittle's going to break out. And what did he do? He broke out. Did I think he was going to get 13-30? No, but he broke out. Because I remember his first year, I was like, this kid was pretty good. And then I said, Raheem Mostert, this kid, watch this guy. And he took off.
Villain, I love Villain's comment here because Villain, what you're asking for or what you're talking about is very arguable. Like, it's just funny. He goes, where the F is Robert Woods? Like, Robert Woods 100% needs to be in the top 10. It's an arguable thing, Villain. And if you had him in your top 8, I'd be like, okay, I get it. I respect it. But I love the assumption that Robert Woods has to be in the top 10 with that comment.
No,
That's
definitely
crazy.
not. It's the same. I mean, I put Deebo Sammy in my top 10. It's the same thing
Woods.
if you put in Robert Woods in the top 10. But I don't see Robert Woods.
I mean, I like Woods, but like that's just funny how he words that. He's like, where the F is Robert Woods? Like, come on, bro.
Man.
That's funny. But I get Cooper being 7. That's the point I'm trying to make, is that if someone has Amari Cooper 7, I'm gonna be like, awesome. That's why we play the game. But for someone to say, how can you not have Cooper in your top 10? That's funny to me because the 7 to 14 range is like a blender. You throw them in a blender, no one knows. And Amari Cooper, Odell Beckham Jr., both Amari Cooper and Odell Beckham Jr. are arguable at 7, 8, 9, 10, but they're both arguable at 11, 12, 13, 14. So I just think it's a really good looking wide receiver, top 10 wide receiver group there. I think it's very safe. I think AJ Brown is a little high to most people, but I think he can earn well past that 9 spot. So I don't think it's that crazy to reach for him there. I try and get him below 10 if you can. So please use ADP to your advantage. But I don't know. I think it's pretty good looking top 10.
It's a good top 10. I think it's good.
So Deebo, you have right around 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I have him up there high, but I mean, it's definitely a homer take, but he's good enough to be that good, man, to be that great. Because again, you got to realize he was a rookie. He's still learning the offense. But if you watch that Super Bowl, if you watch those last few games, like the way Deebo was getting in the ball, the way they were finding ways to get him plays, and they design special plays. They're going to do that more often this season, and I think Deebo's going to just be he's going to have so many big-time plays, and it's going to be like, oh, wow, this kid is special. And that's the thing. It's not just in the passing game. He's going to be in the running game, and I think he's going to have a phenomenal season. I think he will end up as a top 10 receiver. I know not now. He's probably not. But
if the rushing yards are up there, like you said, and Deebo, if you look at this, you'll like this for Garoppolo and your 49ers, but my yards after catch post on Instagram, Deebo was in the top 15.
Yeah, he was. He's had
Kittle was in the top 3. So
and that's the thing. The Niners are yak. We call them the yak kings. They have guys that are just good at yards after they get the ball, and then you can't bring them down. So Deebo is one of those guys. Kittle is one of those guys. They got Brandon Ayuk, who can be one of those guys. So they got a team that's very tough to take down in open space.
Gladiator says that Allen Robinson should be in the conversation, and that's, I think, the right way to put it. Allen Robinson deserves to be in the conversation. Whether you have him in or out, I think it's preference. But, I mean, he had a big year last year. Allen Robinson did really well. A lot of people don't know how well he did. He was really good. He's had some injury issues in the past. People are a little bit cautious of banking on him, I think, is why that's more why he falls out of the top 10. I don't think Allen Robinson has the talent. It's that Allen Robinson's been in the league a little while now, and it's been sporadic for him. It's been injury riddled. It's been patchwork. It's been really good, then really bad, then disappears, and really good. So I think it's more about that, Colby, but deserves to be in the conversation, absolutely. Love the content, says Villain. I know, I was just kidding with you, Villain. I appreciate you.
Just busting your balls, man.
I just love when people are absolute with their comments. It's like, I guess I'm absolute too with a lot of my stuff, but I am too. I do leave room for if someone says I like, Joe Mixon number 5. I'm only going to say Joe Mixon's not in my top 5. I don't like Joe Mixon. I say don't draft him. But if someone comes to me and says, hey, I've got Mixon 5, here are my rankings, I'm not going to go, woo! It's like, I appreciate all it takes. So that's only why.
We all have opinions. Nobody's opinions better. That's the thing. I always say, people, we all have our opinions. Not everybody's opinion is better. Nobody's opinion is better than others, but like some people think C.J. Beathard's the best quarterback on the Niners. I mean, I don't, but people have that opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so we're gonna mock draft now, Dr. Rush. You're welcome to stay. I don't know if you've got to jump, but
I'm gonna head out. Okay. I got some things I'm gonna take care of. So.
You want to go live on IG this week?
Yeah, we'll try some time. We'll figure out a time.
I might even be on tonight, so jump on mine if you see me, because I haven't given Instagram a lot of love this weekend. I've had a lot of stuff going on. But
I hear you, about it. We'll do it this week. We'll do some Instagram live stuff.
Cool.
I think last time I was live, they were like, "Where's Smitty?" So maybe we'll do a live this week. We'll do a mock draft in a live.
Yeah, I can do it on my iPad. Flip the screen around, that way you don't have to do any work, but just get in the mock.
Sweet, sounds good.
All right, man. Appreciate you. And if you see me on Instagram tonight, you'll know what I'm just causing some trouble. Jump in and talk if you want.
All right, man. Stay safe. Take care.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, Dr. Raj. Go follow Dr. Raj at RSF49ers on Instagram. That's where you can find the best, not only the best 49er page, Dr. Raj, you have the best team page of any of the teams. I don't.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
Is there even you don't have to say names or anything, but are there team pages that are even bigger than yours follower-wise, like legit followers, or are you literally?
Yeah, there's a Redskins page.
Oh,
Redskins Today. JPA.
Yeah.
The guy that runs JPA football, he's got a pretty big. It's a little bit high. He's got like 120. I just hit 104K this weekend.
Woo!
So yeah, it's crazy, dude. So I got 104. And then there's one more page. I think he's a Seattle page. He's got a pretty big.
But you're like
page.
top 3 or 4 in terms of size, but you're, in my opinion, number 1 in terms of engagement. Like your people.
Well, yeah, my engagement's crazy because even that guy that has like the 120, I get more traction than his page. But I mean, I post.
Because you go live and yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but that's what I do. If you gotta if you just create content and you keep building stuff, if you keep posting, you're going to build that following. You got to keep your page relevant. It's not always easy. In the off season, it's like, shit, what do I post today? So, you gotta be strategic.
People don't know how much hard work goes into it, man. They really don't.
They really don't, bro.
But we appreciate them anyways because they're the ones that make us do what we do. So, Dr. Raj, Go follow him, RSF49ers, RSF49ers on Instagram. If you aren't following him, you're missing out on some lively lives. He, you know, if you want to watch the 49er game any Sunday, I'm just saying that's where you want to be, because
or you don't have to follow me. It's like I said, you don't.
But Dr. Raj, when I'm out and about, rather than open up my streaming app, try to find the game. Like, if I'm out and about and I need to watch some football, I step out for a moment, I just go to your page to watch the 49er game, you know.
There you go, and it's right there. Boom. Pretty good video. You got some commentary from your boy right here. And
yep.
Good.
All righty, man. Later.
All right. Take it easy.
All right, guys. It's time to mock draft. Let me sit up. Thanks for the super chat, Mac. Mac says, could you do a 2 QB mock draft? How about we do a 2 QB mock draft right now, Mac? Because you're a super chatter, and I appreciate my super chatters. Villain says, as a Chiefs fan, Judy and Sutton will be dangerous. Thank you for the super chat, Villain. And I was just running, I was just joking with you earlier, too. I just love when those absolute comments come in. Like, wait a minute, I do like a top 10 wide receiver ranking, and yours wasn't as bad. It was like, you know, you had an arguable take. But I love it when I do like a top 10 running back thing and somebody comes out with, whoa, where's Jordan Howard? Where the hell is Jordan Howard in your top 10 running backs? Let's just back up a second. I love it. Or like Lockett. I see a lot of Lockett in here. And you know, Lockett could outscore DK. I mean, no one knows what's going to happen there. Lockett was on fire to start off the 2019 season. And then, you know, but it's funny when people are like, whoa. Where's Lockett? Smitty, your audio has dropped big time. Smitty, I don't know. I see my audio level pretty high. How about now? Better? Better? Okay. But yeah, that's always funny. Whoa, where's Jordan Howard? So we'll do a two QB now. You can join. Colby says he's dead. My ball Zach Ertz says Mixon top 5, stop the hate. Mixon's not in my top 5, bro. Mixon's not even in my top 10. But my ball Zach Ertz, you and I go way back, and we agree on a lot. So it's okay if we don't agree on this one. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll still be fine. We'll be solid. All right, let's do a mock. Let's see here. Let me share my screen with you. You guys, you crazy mock drafting nuts. And let me pull this. Let me start a new mock. I want to put the link in here. We're going to make this a 2 QB. Draft settings, we'll go with 2 QB, 12 rounds. I'm going 32nd. I know I always say I'm not going to, but it's just easier. Super flex, we need to add a super flex to this. There we go. So 2 QB. Let me change the name of this to the Stay Home 2 QB mock draft. And it's going to be Dynasty, baby. Dynasty PPR. I'm going to copy this link. Are you all ready? Runners on your mark. I'm going to take the 4 spot. I don't think I've drafted from the 4 in a little while. I'm taking the 1, 2, 3, 10, 12, 11. Haven't done the 4. Here we go. In 1. Boom. Let's see this thing fill up fast. JP grabs the 7. JP's fast. JP doesn't mess around. JP's quick. 21. Jason's in. Over the middle. Cat. NFL. It is full. Just like that. Just like that. Sorry if you didn't get in. I know a few of you were like, how the hell do I get in? That's how you get in. It happens quick. I wish it was easier to get everybody in, but people that are ready to roll, and click that link and get an account if you haven't already. Okay, it's go time. It's go time. Begin the draft. 2 QBs. Let me remind you, 2 QBs. Dynasty PPR. We're only going to go like 7 rounds though, so draft as if you pretend you're drafting. Look at that, you guys are already. What do I do here? What do I do here? If Lamar goes, then this is pretty easy. Pretty easy call for me. Not fair, Villain says. I'm sorry, Villain. Okay, so McCaffrey, Barkley gone. Easy call for me. I'm going Lamar. It's a 2 QB league. Easy stuff. Thumbs up for Smitty, says Jose. Yeah, they did join quick. If we get through this really quick, I'll try and do another mock, okay? So that everybody feels like they got to participate, or they got a better chance to participate. I can't promise that everybody will participate because you guys are freaking fast as all hell. Elliott, number 5. I took Lamar, number 4. Again, this is 2 QB, or it's a super flex, so you have 1 QB and the option for a second. No, Web, this is not. This is on sleeper.app. McCaffrey, Mahomes, Barkley, Lamar, Elliott, Kamara, Mike Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins, and then number 9 is Dylan. Dylan's on the clock here. Now, Kamara and Elliott seem like par for the course here. What will be interesting, so DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Thomas, Dalvin Cook, what will be interesting is where the QBs go. Do people force Dak Prescott up higher, which I'm not saying is good or bad. I'm not saying it's a bad move, but it is interesting how will it let me change it mid-draft? Hold on. Let me pause the draft. We can do Dynasty, and it's still going to be super flex though. I'm just going to set that setting there, and that should help change it. So let me zoom the draft. Is everybody's rankings a little bit better? Hopefully. Can we restart? No, Royal. Why would we restart? Devontae Adams, number 11. Nick Chubb, number 10. Dalvin Cook, number 9. DeAndre Hopkins, number 8. Mike Thomas, number 7. Kyler Murray went number 12. First quarterback. Everybody's rankings should be better. Refresh the page if you haven't. That will probably help if it didn't reset the Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs. I'm surprised Kyler Murray is the only quarterback off the board past Lamar and Mahomes at this point in a 2 QB league. It's pretty crazy. I use Dynasty now. I did do 2 QB rankings at first. I apologize if that screwed it up, but refresh the page. It should be better. Unless I get Mahomes or Lamar for a super flex, I try to wait for QBs, and you might be right. And the way everybody's waiting right now, it could work out. Clyde Edwards-Helaire falling to 2.5. Mixon went at 2.4. Miles Sanders at 2.3. A pick I tend to say is a little high, but trust your gut if you like Miles that high. Nope, if you refresh it, it should be good. Did you have to refresh, or did everything load properly? Okay, Tyreek Hill. So I'm on the clock. I've got Lamar. I could go quarterback again here, or I could take a running back. This is tough. I think I'm going to go Drake. I don't understand the draw to 2 QB. It's unlike anything football like. So Webb, I would probably say that it's all about what you're used to playing. Like when I started playing fantasy football in 1992, I think. And we played non-PPR. There was no PPR. PPR developed later, and it was really hard to get used to PPR for everybody. but for whatever reason, it took hold. It was pushed popular league settings, so people started to play it. You know, that were new to fantasy football, they played PPR from the beginning. But anybody that was old school that never played PPR never wanted to conform to PPR, and I was one of those old dinosaurs playing non-PPR. So it's kind of like just what you're used to playing, and people do 2QB because it adds a different dynamic. People get bored with the same old strategy, and this is a really, really tough way to look at fantasy football first time out, you know, so it becomes challenging. But I get what you're saying. It is a little bit unique. But it's people crave it, man, so I gotta produce content for both. Time's up for Jason. He got Jonathan Taylor. I would have probably taken Jonathan Taylor. Oh, man. Who do I pick here? I was going to run out of time. I wanted to grab guys that I like. I didn't want to time out on somebody I didn't like. A little early for A.J. Brown, but he wouldn't make it back to me. It is Dynasty. So I'm okay. I'm more so okay with taking him in the third round in Dynasty versus redraft. I think he's a good fourth rounder. Not because A.J. Brown can't earn, you know, top 15 overall value in hindsight. I think he can. That's why it's not really a reach in the third round for A.J. Brown, because I think he can really explode. Ban Nick for life. Why am I banning Nick for life? What did Nick do? Superflex way better than 2 start QBs. Yeah, I kind of like having the option. So the difference between, if you don't know, Superflex and 2 QB leagues. 2 QB leagues is just that. You have to start 2 QBs. I like the Kittle pick. I almost, looking back, that would have been a good pick for me at that 3.4. But in 2 QB leagues, you have to start 2 QBs, just like it sounds. In Superflex, it's a flex. It's a second flex that could be quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. It's a super flex spot. And typically, when you play in a super flex league, it literally is a bigger roster than normal. You literally find in most super flex leagues, you're going 2 running backs, 1 quarterback, a super flex, so it could be 2 quarterbacks, and it's like 3 or 4 wide receivers, or 3 or 4 flex plays where it's wide receiver, running back. I don't know why, but people that do super flex leagues usually have a lot bigger starting lineups. It's like 1 or 2 extra wide receivers. It's crazy. Jones is a big name bust. I agree, Mark. I take him at the right spot. So let me review these teams so far. I'll review them as we go this way or this way. Because I can kind of keep up with the picks being 4 players taken as it's moving that direction. Kyler Murray, Derrick Henry, DJ Moore, Tua. Tua feels a little early, but if you believe in him and you think he's really going to be the man, the myth, the legend, then I get it, but I feel like that's really, really high for Tua, given all the great talent, like Galladay, who just went. I'd rather have Galladay in a later QB, because you already have Kyler. It's nice to have 2 QBs, but will Tua even play week 1? You know, probably not. So I'd say your team, Empire, you started off really great. I think you're maybe like outside the top 6. But a couple things happened, dude. You're right there. Adams, Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, Kenny Galladay. Very strong team, Royal. Very strong team. I think if you get A.J. Dillon, you don't have to take him right away. Even if you get sniped, your mindset at least is that in a normal draft you won't get sniped. You can take him a good round ahead of his ADP. But if you can cuff Aaron Jones, you'll be in pretty good shape. So make sure you cuff him. I need to get ready for my pick, and then I'll keep reviewing the team, starting with Alex. So, boy. What do I do here? Whoops. Tom Brady just went. I'm on the clock. Honestly, I mean, guys, I know it's Dynasty, but there are a few players that just stand out big time. And in a 2 QB league, you have to roll with, if a guy's going to play 1 or 2 more years, and I firmly believe Aaron Rodgers will play multiple, like 2 years at a very high level. And I'm talking top, 6 to 8 at least. In a super flex, he's a 4th rounder. And that might be hard for a lot of people that don't play 2 QB leagues or super flex leagues as they're watching right now to understand. And they're going to see Brady and Rodgers in round 4 in a dynasty league and be like, what in the hell? But that's the way it goes, man. Rodgers has a ton of value in a 2 QB league, even if it's super flex. I mean, even if it's dynasty, but if it's super flex or 2 QB. So for me, like, I love the start of this team. Lamar, Aaron Rodgers, A.J. Brown, and Drake, that would be fire. I'd say that's a top 5 team for sure, right out of the gate. McCaffrey, Russell Wilson, Mike Evans is a fantastic start. We'll see what Cooper Kupp, that's arguable there. You're talking about practically 5th round. So I'm okay there. Leonard Fournette, I mean, God, how did he fall that far? I'm not a huge believer in him at all, but you have yourself a top 5 team, even if Fournette delivers, good value. So that's a great job drafting. So David Montgomery's here, Cam Akers is here, Singletary, Carson. Trying to find running backs that I like here. At wide receiver, you got Ridley, Allen Robinson, Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs. You have Jerry Jeudy, Chark, CeeDee Lamb. Boy, this would be tough for me because at this point I'm trying to decide whether I want to go with the now. And I think I like CeeDee Lamb a ton right here. But I'm going to go with Chark because Chark is already where I hope CeeDee Lamb can get within 1 to 2 years. And my wide receivers are absolute fire with A.J. Brown and Chark, given how I stacked at quarterback in this 2 QB league. I stacked at quarterback with Rodgers, Lamar, Drake, A.J. Brown, and Chark. I like it. Yes, it's a super flex. So not 2 QB, it's a super flex, which can be 2 QB. Most of the time is 2 QB. You look at my team, you look at team 5, team 6, team 9, team 12, all the way through 5 rounds. We're already 2 QBs deep on each team that I just read. So most times you will have 2 super flex leagues will be 2 QB leagues essentially. So Royal did good getting Stafford that late, honestly. So Royal, I think your team with Adams, Jacobs, Aaron Jones, especially if you get A.J. Dillon later. Kenny Golladay, Stafford, that's a top 5 team, bro. Kyler Murray, Derrick Henry, DJ Moore, Tua. Again, not a huge fan of that Tua pick. I think you could have got a guy like Stafford or whatever. Who are the QBs left? You're about to time out, by the way. Cam Akers, not a bad pick. I mean, you have Tannehill here. Breeze is here. Like, I would have rather had that than Tua, to be honest with you. And then you could have had, like, Golladay. If you would have, let me just put it this way, Ottoman Empire. If you would have gotten Golladay instead of Tua, and you would have gotten Breeze instead of Akers, and still got Lamb, I would probably rank you, even with the DJ Moore, earlier than I would have liked to see you get him. I'd have rather seen you got DK, let's say. But if you would have still taken DJ Moore, but instead of Tua, you would have grabbed Golladay, and instead of Akers, grabbed Breeze, I would have said you're the number 1 team. So you're doing good. You're still top 5. Nick Chubb, Sanders, Kelsey, Gurley. Don't like Gurley. Don't like Goff, but you kind of were out of options at that point. So you're outside my top 6, but keep working. Keep working it. You can make a comeback, bro. I'm on the clock. Keyshawn Vaughn is there. Not a horrible option. Justin Jefferson. I like Devontae Parker here. I'm going to throw him on my watch list in case I run out of time because I only have 11 seconds left. Tight end. I don't know about those. I'm going to run out of time. I'm going to take Mark Ingram. Barely got him in. And I know that's early, and it's Dynasty, but I needed a running back pretty badly. And I firmly believe Mark Ingram is not going anywhere in 2020. I think J.K. Dobbins will shine. I think J.K. Dobbins will have a very, 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 very good rookie year. But I think J.K. Dobbins is not going to take over all. Mark Ingram is going to get enough to eat running back 2 type consumption. His plate will be full, and they'll have plenty of time to give and room to give J.K. his little debut action. Waller I like a lot. Waller, I didn't see Waller, to be honest. I would have probably taken Waller. Webb says 40 QBs. What do you mean, Webb? This is par for the course in a 2 QB league, bro. Or a super flex. Twelve teams need 4 QBs. Again, we'd normally go, just so everybody knows, we go a normal, 15 round or 18 rounds, something like that. Okay, I'm up. Dang it, what do I do? Bro, look at this team. I'm liking it. I'm liking this team. I'm feeling very top 3 right here. Lamar, Drake, A.J. Brown. Again, it's a super flex league, so you can start 2 QBs. Lamar, Drake, A.J. Brown, Aaron Rodgers, DJ Chark, Mark Ingram, Zach Ertz. I have a good mix of future and now. Pretty confident that would be a top 3 team. PS has Elliott, Tyreek, Julio, Tom Brady, Ryan. That's top 6. That's good. I like it. Alvin Kamara, Watson, Juju, Cooper, Baker, Montgomery. Struggling. No? That's a good team. Top 6. Mike Thomas, Austin Eckler, George Kittle, DK Metcalf, Joe Burrow, Deebo. I love where you're headed with this, and I feel like JP, you're going to struggle enough at QB that this is going to be tough for you to pull out, even though you look like you have a top 6 team here. It's because, you're gonna have such a struggle at QB, but you could make a trade for a QB. Although making a trade for a QB in a superflex is very, very hard. It is an acquired taste. I get requests for it all the time, so I had to do some kind of 2 QB. Plus, I got a super chat request for this, so that's the benefit of being a super chatter on the show, which I always appreciate. It helps you get things like this taken care of. Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, Josh Allen, Wentz, Allen Robinson. I'm just not a huge Mixon fan. I like it. You're borderline, 5 to 8 range. Chubb, Miles Sanders. I already talked about this team. If a couple different things happened, I love the Kelsey pick. I love the Chubb pick. I like the Ridley pick. I like the Bond pick, but I'm not a fan of a couple of the other picks, so it drops out of my top 6. Adams, Jacobs, Aaron Jones, Kenny Golladay, Stafford, Drew Lock. Good. This is a borderline 6 team with potential to do really, really well. And again, this team, I'm telling you, it would have been number 1 had you not taken Tua here and you just took Golladay, and then if you took, instead of Akers, you took Breeze. That would have been top. That would have been number 1 in my book. McCaffrey, Russell Wilson, Evans, Cooper Kupp, Fournette, Waller, Cousins. Top 6-ish. Definitely feel like there's firepower here. Definitely. And if Fournette ends up being what he was last year, you win. Like, let me put it that way. You win the league if Fournette's as good as he was last year. But if he isn't, then you're back in the same boat with everybody else. I guess why everybody let Fournette fall is they worry about him in Dynasty. How many years does he have left when his own team doesn't even want him there? So that's why he's falling, and he's become a value grab for you. Fournette's a value at 5.1. Even if I hate him, he's still a value grab at 5.1. I can be honest and objective. If Tua works, watch out, says Mark. Maybe. Mahomes, JK. JK was so early, but it's Dynasty. I get it. You wanted your guy. Dak. Swift, Andrews, I mean, Lockett, Singletary. You're banking on youth here. You've got youth behind Mahomes, J.K., Swift. I think you're going to take a year off, Triple J, but you're coming back with a vengeance in year 2 and 3 if this was a league. Barkley, Godwin, Taylor, Sutton, Kareem Hunt, Jimmy G, Sam Darnold. Really got hit hard at QB, but boy, you started off on fire. If you would have landed like Breeze, where did Breeze go? Did Breeze not? Where's Breeze? Breeze didn't even go. Am I missing Breeze? Jason, if you got Breeze instead of Darnold, you have like the top 2 or 3 team. But Darnold over Breeze, I don't care if Breeze has 1 year. I don't care if you come out and say Breeze has 1 year left and he retires. I've got the sports almanac from Back to the Future, and it shows that Breeze retires and hangs it up after this year, after going into the second round of the playoffs and losing, and he just retires. I draft Breeze over Jimmy G and Sam Darnold. I don't care if it's Dynasty. You would have had a top 2 or 3 team. Now, you may have not seen him. I'm looking for him. I don't see him on here. You may have not seen him because the rankings were kind of jacked up. But my team, I'm telling you, top 3, and I gave you my ranking last time. My team was like a B- at best on my other mock that we did before this at the beginning of the show. I can be objective with my own mock. Lamar, Kenyon Drake, A.J. Brown, Aaron Rodgers. I don't care if it's Dynasty. He has 2 or 3 years left. Let's even say you told me only 2 years. He's only going to play 2 years. That's a phenomenal start. DJ Chark at 5.4 in a 2 QB league. That bumped Chark down like almost a round and a half, which was fantastic value. I could have maybe went with a better pick over Mark Ingram. Like looking at Waller, I didn't see Waller. The rankings were kind of jacked up. It's my fault. Yes, 30 seconds goes quick, JP, and I had to make a decision, so I went Mark Ingram. But like looking back, where did Hollywood go? 6.5. Okay, so he wasn't there for my pick. I would have taken Hollywood at 6.9. Now Hollywood doesn't go in the 5th round ever, and he shouldn't because people aren't drafting him there. So you shouldn't draft him there. It's all about value. But Hollywood Brown normally would fall 9 times out of 10 to my Mark Ingram pick, and I was kind of banking on that. But because we're drafting with a like-minded community that loves Hollywood Brown and all the breakouts that we all talk about constantly, Hollywood Brown didn't fall to my 6.9. I would have taken him there. But I could have went Waller. I think Waller would have been a better pick. Devin Singletary might have been a better pick in hindsight. So I make mistakes too. I'm a human being. But I still think Ertz is fantastic value for 1 to 2 years at 7.4. He's not going away this year. So give me top 3 on that. I don't know if I missed anybody. This team right here is pretty darn good. I think I evaluated everybody's team. Great job, everybody. I don't know that we have time to do another mock draft. I've been live for good Lord, how long has it been? 1 hour and 30 minutes. I'll answer a few questions before I go. We'll make this a Q&A topic here. Q&A topic. Ask me something and ask me fast, and hit that thumbs up. We've got 41 thumbs up. I appreciate it. You sniped me with Ertz, not happy, says PS. Tommy says you missed my team. What was your team, Tommy? Tommy, what was your team, Tommy? Dre, when we do a Dynasty League, we just do a mock. And we basically say we're going to turn this into a league. And if you get in, you get in. There's no way to reserve a spot, really. Pardon the stain on my shirt. I just ate beforehand and spilled on my shirt. And I didn't notice it till I got on my live. I was going to go change it, but I'm like, you know what? I should be creating, Sid, I should be creating a video here today. It'll be posting by at least nighttime. It'll be, I think it'll be a yards after catch video, kind of piggybacking off of my Instagram content. What's up, Justin? And it's a very important topic, but it'll be talking about Kamara. It'll be talking about Barkley. It won't just hit on what you've already seen on Instagram. It'll be a whole new video with a whole different, it'll definitely touch on Kamara. It'll definitely touch on how McCaffrey and Eckler are in a league of their own yards after catch wise. But it's going to talk about how Barkley, Kamara, AJ Brown. It's gonna dip into all that, so it should be a good video. And then the next video I hope to have would be win a league players. It'll be a video on players that can win you a league in 2020. So get ready for that. Players you like in Dynasty past top 200. Oh, that's a tough one, Jose. Fant or Hawkinson? I go Fant, but I mean, I quietly like Hawkinson better, but I'm drafting Fant ahead of him because you probably should. You could get a lot more value in a trade. Let me see if I can find a player outside the top 200, bro. That's a tough one. I mean, you're talking about currently in a 16-team dynasty startup, 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 3 flex. Missed out on a run at tight ends. Hurst or Jarwin. Hurst, I guess. I don't like either, but I assume Higbee's gone. I assume Joe Smith is gone. Okay, so if I pull up my top 200 rankings, let me share that with you guys here. So outside the top 200, you're talking about, dude, it's thin. It's thin as all hell. I mean, I don't even see a name I like outside the top 200. I mean, you're in a 2 QB super flex league. Taysom Hill, he could get you touchdowns. Butler could, eventually in Dynasty turn into something, so he would be a good player to look at. Bourne, I guess. Knox, maybe. I mean, you're talking about such a deep range. Really, there aren't a lot of players I like at all. Dede, I don't know why Dede needs to be a little higher. Dede's ranking really low here because these are all $1 players, and I might have alphabetically ordered them. So I'll have to look into trying to bump him to like $2 to give him more value. But I'd say Dede Westbrook is a good option. Landry, same thing. I need to give him a $2 value so that him and Dede rank right about here. Near the probably near the $3 range. I'll give them both a $2 bump. Antonio Gibson in redraft if he falls. If you guys haven't seen the trade calculator, let's do a couple trades. Somebody hit me with the trade. Give me a 2-for-1 or a 3-for-1. Let's plug it into the trade calculator. The great part about the sleeperu.com, that's letter U, sleeper letter U.com trade calculator is you can do multiple player trades. So if we do AJ Brown for, let's say, Amari Cooper, it tells you that in redraft, this is a $33 to $30 advantage. Meaning, and if you're in an auction draft, you're going to spend $30 on Cooper. You're going to spend $33 on AJ Brown. He's worth more. But then it's going to tell you that in Dynasty, that AJ Brown is $35 Dynasty value, and Cooper's fallen off to $30. So the beautiful part about the new trade calculator enhancements that I've made is that you can look at it from both a redraft and Dynasty perspective every single time. And the reason that's super beneficial, especially in a Dynasty mindset, is it lets you think about how good is this trade going to help me for the now? Because in Dynasty, you still play for the now. You're still trying to win a prize at the end of 2020, right? So you want to know what a trade's going to do for you for the future and the now when you're doing a Dynasty trade. So this tells you and reassures you, hey, I'm going to go ahead and make this trade because not only is it going to help me for the Dynasty aspect, which I assumed, going into this, I'm a regular Joe, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure Smitty's going to like A.J. Brown better than Cooper, and that's true, 35 to 30. But wow, Smitty likes A.J. Brown more than Cooper in redraft. That makes it a slam dunk trade for me. And then if you add in players like Adam Thielen versus Hollywood Brown, Marquis Brown, you start seeing these things move around. So in redraft, look at this. This is a perfect example. Thielen should have a pretty good year. Hollywood Brown is quietly in my top 10. But I could understand people being a little worried about, whether he explodes right away or takes time to develop. But if you look at this, it's a pretty even trade heading into week 1 for 2020. But look what happens from a dynasty perspective. It almost jumps up $10. It jumps up $9 because of how good Hollywood Brown's going to become and how much Thielen will tail off and how much Cooper will probably tail off. And these two right here are two of my favorite players. When you click on a player, it removes them so you can see what Hollywood Brown is versus... I need to give Hollywood Brown a bump. I'm going to give Hollywood Brown a bump so that he actually is more along the $20 value versus 18. So know that I'm doing that by tonight. What's up, Clock? Amari Cooper, so let's do that trade. Amari Cooper, Zeke. So Amari and Ezekiel Elliott for Adams and Kamara. Devontae Adams and Alvin Kamara. See how easy it is to add these players? What a good calculation, Patrick, because look how close you are. Elliott and Cooper are worth 104 out of 200 auction dollars going into redraft. They're worth 104 in Dynasty. Now, that's something to think about because Cooper, I believe, is tailing off a little bit. Elliott might gain a few bucks because I think some other players might drop off. So relatively speaking, Elliott's going to stay, I think, really high, whereas other players like maybe Derrick Henry, Leonard Fournette, all those guys fall down. It makes Elliott slightly more valuable, even though as every year goes by, a running back technically could lose a dollar value or, to like $2, $3, $4 because running backs have a short shelf life. But it's interesting that redraft and dynasty value are the same. 104, 104. Kamara and Devontae Adams, while they're slightly below in redraft, they should... I need to look into this because I feel like they should... And this is why I do this too, because it helps me tweak my own formula. I think this one should be more like 105, 107. And I think that they should increase a touch more on this side. But it's arguable. I mean, it's very arguable. You could say there are a lot of Cooper believers out there, and people would say that Cooper should be, valued this high, and some people would say not. But I think Elliott is a little bit of an edge over Kamara. Okay, hit me with another one. Hit me with another one. Smitty, Cook and Lamar and Drake Mahomes. Dalvin Cook, Lamar Jackson, and Drake, Kenyon Drake, and Patrick Mahomes. And let me put on screen here. How do you find this calculator? You go to sleeperu.com is where you go. So let me add that to the screen here so you guys know where to find this bad boy. Calculator. Oh, let me put that on this bottom part. Found at sleeper, the letter u.com. This calculator is found at sleeperu.com. There we go. Okay, next one. AJ. Yeah, I like these 2 for 1. Saquon for Drake and Odell. That's a good one. So here's the calculation. So Lamar and Cook, $96. Patrick and Drake, $85. This is very arguable though. Like you could say I like Drake so much that I think he could actually be better than Cook. You could argue that. And as you see, dynasty wise, this one goes up $2. This one goes up actually $3. So it's a very, very even trade. Like you could easily argue this being a dead even trade. Saquon Barkley for Drake and Odell. So let's look at Drake. Whoops, not Breeze. Drake, Kenyon. So looking at, before we add Odell, we're looking at $80 in redraft and $80 in dynasty for Saquon Barkley out of a $200 purse. Drake is 43 and 41. He drops off a couple bucks because running backs have a shelf life. Now we add in Odell, and this doesn't even equate to Barkley. You literally can't get a Barkley, in my mind, for a Kenyon, Drake, and Odell, and you shouldn't. Drake or Barkley's worth more. Royal, that Haskins and Ito for Bell and Dynasty. No thanks, man. I'm not running that through my calculator, tainting that thing with that trade. Go Bell. Bell's going to beat that out by quite a bit, even with the risk he never returns to form. Haskins, blah. I mean, he's like a $2 guy, you know, and Ito's like a $0 guy. So you're talking about like a $15 Bell versus almost nothing. So pretty easy. Yeah, the calculator goes by auction dollar value. So if you can wrap your mind around $200 being what you spend, and if you look at like Christian McCaffrey, $80, $80. Barkley's $80, $80. So those are dead even. You look at Derrick Henry, $49 to $50 in a redraft, roughly, and then a drop off in Dynasty, which is pretty par for the course. If you do a Dynasty draft, you'll see Henry go in the late second round, versus in a redraft you see him going like round one, bottom of round one. So there is a significant perception of drop off for Derrick Henry in Dynasty. So this makes sense. But look at the difference between Barkley and Henry. Like if you're trading Henry for Barkley because you want to get an extra player, you better be getting a player that's worth $40, $35 at least, or you're doing yourself a disservice. Thank you, Austin. DeAndre, Baker, and Dunbar. Come on, give me some good stuff, guys. One more. Nolan says A.J. Brown and Geis for Dalvin. Bro. A.J. Brown. Geis is going to be almost nothing. $2 for, who was it? A.J. Brown. What was it? A.J. Brown and what? Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook's gonna crush him. Yep, $55 against 30. I mean, Geis is a $1 or $2 player at most. So like you're basically trading AJ Brown for Cook, which is, I love AJ Brown, but that's a $20-something loss. Like, not a good trade, not good management. You gotta draw a line. You gotta value it. I like Hollywood Brown, but I'm not drafting Hollywood Brown just because I feel like he's close to a lock to be what I say he's going to be. I don't draft him above 6.05, no matter what. I draw a line and I say, you take Hollywood Brown, good for you. If you're going to take him ahead of where I draw my line, I'm very disciplined with where I draft a player so that I maximize value at every turn. For every Hollywood Brown, if someone wants to snipe me and take him too early, other players will fall that shouldn't. Kenyon Drake and Waller. Darren Waller for Mahomes. Whoops. Malcolm Brown. Patrick. $58 and $56 values from the Waller and Drake side, and Mahomes 42 and 47. But look how close Mahomes closes that gap in Dynasty. Mahomes goes from $42 in my mind in redraft to $47 in Dynasty because Mahomes is a 10-year player that's going to carry you. And in Dynasty, he has literally a $5 to $8 more higher valuation in my mind in Dynasty. So I wouldn't think it's crazy for anybody to deny a trade offer if someone came at them and they were the Mahomes owner and came at them with a Drake and Waller offer. I wouldn't blame anybody for saying no, because what you got to factor in is what tight end does this person already have. Even if you put in a Higbee or let's say a Hayden Hurst, somebody pretty low. Look at that. I mean, in Dynasty, even adding in a very minor tight end option, which you assume you're going to have, Mahomes and whatever tight end you already have is not going to be far off from Waller and Drake. And you got to ask yourself the question, can I develop my tight end position better than I can, making up for losing Mahomes? And I'd probably say no to this trade. Even though I love Drake, I love Waller. This is Dynasty. In Dynasty, I'm taking Mahomes in my developmental tight end prospects, even if I don't have them on my roster yet, over getting rid of Mahomes. Mahomes has that much value to me. Nolan says Geis is ready to break out. I do not believe Geis will break out at all. I think you're looking at a potentially disappointing outcome there. First of all, they have Antonio Gibson, who I think has a better shot at starting, even though he's not traditionally been a full-time guy. But Gibson is a better option than Geis, in my opinion. But trust your gut, Mark. And Nolan, I know you like Geis. Don't listen to me on everything. Take what I say and help guide you. Don't, I'm going to miss stuff. This could be something I miss. Geis could be a machine. But Geis has never stayed healthy. Gibson's a back they like a lot. I think they're going to develop him into a slash type role, but you'll start him at running back and he'll play a wide receiver and running back role and do pretty well. And on top of that, they have Love. This is not a clear-cut situation for Geis at all. They have other running backs in the roster too, so not a big fan of that. I'm out of here. Please subscribe, follow, hit that thumbs up on your way out the door. Tell everybody about the show. And guys, get on over to sleeperu.com if you want more of this calculator. It's over at sleeper.com to get your trade calculator fix. And all the, if I show you this, all the features I have on sleeperu.com, it's pretty detailed, guys. This isn't your mama's draft kit. This isn't that draft kit that everybody's trying to sell you that is like a one update type of thing, or we'll have updates. This is a 365 piece of this tool here. It's a tool. It's a resource full of tools, from the redraft rankings to my bold predictions, which last year had Dalvin Cook in the top 5 for being a top 5 running back. I think it was number 2 or 3 or whatever it was. Aaron Jones was, I believe, in the top 7 for the bold predictions. The bold predictions are highly sought after. The rookie rankings, the super rookie rankings, everyone loves. This is the most probably requested feature, and feature people love more than anything, is the super rookie rankings, because they incorporate just the rookies and the sophomores only, and it's a way to, you don't necessarily draft off this, but it helps you hone in on your super rookie, your dynasty mentality, because you're ranking typically you're basically ranking these dynasty guys, so you're looking at Clyde Edwards-Helaire versus Josh Jacobs. You're looking at Jonathan Taylor. Where's Jonathan Taylor slot in next to Josh Jacobs? DK, A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy. These are all rookies and sophomores only. My super rookie rankings are super popular. You can obviously copy. You can download them to Excel. You can sort them and look for a Gibson. So type in Gibson. He's $3. Now you know. Smitty, do you create all of your kit yourself? This is not a kit, bro. Clock, this is not a kit. This is a website. But yes, sir, I do. But this is a website. It's got the one-on-one advice feature. You can ask me questions through this feature. You go here if you purchase the full price, and it says fill out your username. What are you in? PPR, non-PPR. You give me as much information as you can. You submit your question. I get back to you. So that comes in to play there. The trade calculator, all the rankings, the bold predictions, the player spotlights. It's all. It comes in 2 different packages. You can get the one-on-one advice with the 45 for the 1 year, for the full year, or you can just get no one-on-one advice, but all of the content, all of the rankings, all the trade calcs, just no one-on-one advice, and that's $29 for the year. You could spend that amount on 2 magazines that get outdated. I'm old, so I say draft kit. Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding with you. I just laugh because people go, get my draft kit, and that's all they have. And I have a full-fledged website that I've had since 2003. I've changed names over the years. Now I'm sleeperu.com, but I have a forum full of people that have followed me from venture to venture. This is my last stop. I'm going to retire into these two brands. These are my bread and butters. Never say never. ESPN. Never say never, but it'd even be hard pressed for me to release these two bad boys because these are now my babies, and I'm growing this show, the Fantasy Football Show. We're taking this to the top, are we not, people? Hit the thumbs up on your way out the door, please. And subscribe, follow. Get your sleeperu.com membership today. I'm going to check my emails right now and send you a personal thank you for anybody that subscribed in the next 5 minutes from this little demo, because I know that you saw it from this right here. Thank you, clock. All right, guys, I appreciate all of you. Peace out.